Hello guys and welcome to my meta hero build guide. Hopefully after watching this video your hero team will be much stronger, capable of beating almost any content in the game in both normal and hard mode. First of all, I talk about pvxwiki, our best source of information when it comes to builds. Then we will jump into 8-man hero teams, then 6-man, 4-man. Then I will cover those heroes which are must have during certain missions like Koss, Melonni, Dunkoro, Zhed, etc. Then I will give you some very general tips and tricks, and in the last part of the vid we're gonna check some meta player builds, so plenty of topics, let's get started. Like I mentioned, the best website for Guild Wars builds is definitely pvxwiki, no doubt about this. At first this may look difficult to use, there are so many things you can click on, but let me guide you. The left side, the big red rectangle is the PvP build section, the yellow one on the right side is the PvE one. Then we have smaller sections. The first one is for new builds. Yes, even in 2021 there are people who work on new builds, crazy right? Then we have the build packs for those who wanna download all builds at once. And the last section is the builds by category. This is what I use most of the time. There are many categories to be honest, but this time let's just check out the meta, or in other words the great team builds. As you can see, we have a lot of 7 hero builds, and this is where things get a little bit difficult. Why I'm saying this? On one hand, I don't wanna say use only this or that build and don't use anything else, because all others are garbage. No, this wouldn't be fair. On the other hand, if you check all the 7 hero builds, you'll see that they aren't that different. I mean, their core, the base is like the same. We have a 7 hero AFK build, 7 hero heroic refrain build, 7 hero mercenary build, offensive Mesmer way. These all have many similarities. I mean, all of them have a Blood's Power Necro, a Soul Twisting Ritu and Mesmer heroes. Let me start with the latter. I think in the last few years the meta is all about Mesmers. High damage, quick costing and recharge times with fast costing, melee and coaster shutdown, they have all we need. If you don't wanna play mercenaries, what I totally understand, then you have access to 3 Mesmer heroes, Gwen, Norgu and Raza. Raza can't have any profession. To change his primary, go to the Heart of Abaddon while he is not in the party and talk to him just outside the portal. And you have all 3 possible Mesmer heroes. So I think the number 1 mess build is Energy Surge, or simply E-Surge as we call it. 16 domination magic is highly recommended to max out the damage, as well as 5 Prodigy insignias to boost the hero's armor. Yes, I know these are quite expensive. If you can't afford these, Survivor insignias and minor or major runes should work too. Anyway, all meta team comps must include 1 or 2 builds like this, because it has great armor ignoring damage, interrupts, coaster shutdown, hex removals, enchant removals, and you can add other crucial skills like Flash of My Flash or Fallback. The hero skills recharge much faster than you would expect, because the Mesmers can use fast costing. For weapons, a 40/40 domination set is all you need, and this build will never let you down. Honestly, if you want to run 3 Mesmers with the same build, you can do that, but I would bring an Ineptitude Mess for the 3rd spot. Why do you need an Inept Mess? Isn't 3 E-Surge enough? For 95% of the game I think it's enough, but some heavy anti-melee always comes in handy. You need to know that monsters never stop attacking. This is how they are programmed, meaning if you have hex spells which trigger on attacks, you win fights quite easily. It has great DPS like E-Surge, so there is nothing new here. 16 illusion magic, 40/40 illusion set, 5 Prodigy insignias, quite similar equipment to E-Surge. Ineptitude, Wandering Eye, Signet of Clumsiness take care of the attacking foods. Then we have Arcane Conundrum, a great skill to slow down coaster enemies. You can fill the missing spots with Fallback, Res, or even more mess skills if you want. So in my opinion, 2 E-Surge and 1 Inept Mess is the way to go. However, keep in mind some endgame areas like DOA, UW requires different approach, different builds like Tie Kick Instability, which does a 4-sec knockdown, or Panic, which is extremely useful in crowded situations. By the way, good tip for mass heroes is to not bring too many energy gaining skills. You can give them 1 or 2 like Power Drain, but long term this is better to let the Beep Necro work as their battery. If they can focus on spamming skills, on DPS more, you kill faster and save time. Another note, it doesn't matter which hero has which build, you can give Norgu the Inept build, or Gwen, or even Raza, this won't change anything. As long as their build fits their runes and weapons, you'll be fine, and of course the same goes to any heroes. You can use Olias as a beep or Master of Whispers and vice versa. Alright guys, we are done with the first 3 heroes, still have 4 spots. Let's continue with the previously mentioned beep hero, or in other words the Blood is Power Necro. The elite can give the target ally plus 6 energy regen, but how much is that exactly? Wiki says each beep of energy regen generates 1 energy every 3 seconds. Beep lasts for 10 seconds normally, meaning 1 use of beep results in roughly 20 energy, quite a powerful skill. This Necro hero can also take care of the healing of the whole group with read skills, Spirit Light, Mend Body and Soul, Spirit Transfer, Protectivus Cauli, Spirit of Life. These are all great healing skills, and let's not forget the Necros have Soul Reaping, which gives them energy frequently during the battle, as long as there are new corpses. You can even add Bloodbond to heal your melee character or minions more, or skills like Recovery, Strip Enchantment and so on. To get the maximum energy regen, 13 Blood Magic is enough, 12 Restoration, and the rest can go to Soul Reaping. What about weapons? Still many people interpret the beep wrong. 99% of the time they have a bundle item in their hands, since they have Protectivus Cauli in their build. One thing you need to know about these bundle items: your weapons are disabled, you cannot use them to attack, you don't gain any of their benefits. So what comes from this? It doesn't really matter what weapon your Beep Necro has, since they can't use it. Obviously you can give him a 40/40 restoration set or a higher energy set, but it won't matter that much. First 4 spots are taken, we still have 3 left. The next core build is the Soul Twisting Ritualist, or ST in short. So we have all the firepower in the world with mass heroes, we also have a decent healer. What else do we need? Some extra defense for the whole party. During harder missions, vanquishes or in dungeons, the received damage would be way too much for our lonely Beep Necro. That's why the ST can save the day. The elite decrease the cost of the binding rituals and also recharge them instantly. I think without this skill the whole build couldn't work, because most binding skills cost too much energy and recharge too slowly. With Shelter you can't lose more than 10% of your maximum health from simple spells or attacks. Union reduces 15 damage, and Displacement gives 75% blocking ability for the whole group in spirit range. Each time the spirits trigger, they lose some HP, that's why Armor of Unfeeling is a must-have. This skill buffs spirits and gives them a 50% damage reduction. The hero has a skill called Boon of Creation for energy gain on each spirit usage, and some optional slots for skills like Fallback, Strength of Honor, Resurrection skills, Extra Heal or Interrupts. I'd give my ST 16 communing and at least 13 spawning power to reach the 3 binding ritual limit. Maybe 2 superior runes, 1 for spawning, 1 for communing, superior vigor and some shaman or survivor insignias. So this is the end of the core builds. So far we have 3 mesmers, 1 necro, 1 rit and 2 free spots. What should we put on the last 2 places? If you ever completed Winds of Change in hard mode, you got Zairi, the second rit hero. Since I've never done it, and I believe most of you will never do either, we can say that we are out of Ritu heroes, so got to use what we have left. Necros, monks and LAs. I don't include other professions on purpose, because those are very far from calling them meta. And I won't go into details as much as I did with the core builds, but let's say you are a melee, you need Strength of Honor and Splinter weapon to maximize your DPS. Maybe a monk rit hybrid could do that, for example. Let's say you choose this and put a primary monk in your team. You need Signet of Spirits and Bloodsong. These 2 skills do over 70 damage on each time the spirits hit something. Also we have Splinter weapon and Strength of Honor and Sister's Rage, some healing skills maybe like Mend Body and Soul, Protectivus Cauli, Spirit Light. Basically this is like a classic SOS rit but on a monk. And if you're not a melee user, then you can focus more on hex removals, more on defense, on skills like Aura of Fate, Shielding Hands, Aegis and so on. Or you can even add LA Mesmer hybrids, same builds as the primary Mesmers had, but higher energy pool, since the LAs have energy storage but no fast casting. I like to use these 2, they are better than you would expect from first glance. Then you could even use a minion master too, but this is a good question if an ST rit and an MM could work efficiently in the same team. On one hand, the minions count as allies, they can take a good amount of damage, which is a good thing, but on the other hand, each time they receive a hit or a spell, the defensive spirits of the ST will lose HP, and if you have a high number of minions, then spirits like Shelter, Displacement and Union won't last long. Obviously minions can help tanking fools, but since there was a debate on Reddit, I don't wanna be the one who decides whether an MM and ST can work together or not. So these are some 8-man groups. You can mix the builds up if you want or get new ones from wiki. It's up to you. The ones I have been using help me achieve VAMs, so should work for you too. For a 6-man group you can simply use the 3 Mes 1 BIP 1 ST group or swap one of the Mesmers for more spirits, an SOS Rit maybe. For 4-man groups I would definitely add at least 2 rescills to the group, 1 E-Surge Mes, 1 Inept Mes, 1 BIP, and maybe if the damage is too much bring an ST or an SOS instead of one of the Mesmers. Generally speaking, in low-man teams spirits can help a lot, not just soul twisting but Senate of Spirits too, because many times your single healer can be interrupted or knocked down and then vibes can happen. But if you have low level targets like spirits, then the AI might focus on them more and not on your allies, or simply get stuck between them. Also summoning stones, Tengu flares or legionnaires can turn the fight to your advantage. However, meta builds work like a hot knife through butter. Sometimes we must rely on least favored heroes and professions. During several Nightfall missions, players must bring no meta heroes too, since they have a role in the story. But I have to admit, anytime I'm forced to bring one of these, I give them poor builds like fallback, incoming, some Paragon shouts, and sometimes they don't have skills, no weapons at all. Yeah, I know I'm lazy as hell, and if your other heroes are good, you can do the same. Never mind, let's see some decent builds for these guys too. The first on the list is our old friend, the one with the best hairstyle, Koss. Sadly melee heroes are dumb, and even if you give them decent builds, don't expect much from them. In my opinion, Koss works best as a 100 bits warrior. Give him a sword for great justice, some attacking speed, increasing skill, a few sword skills and max out swordmanship. Maybe add some points to tactics and add to the limit so the hero can build some adrenaline faster, or you can consider giving him a death charge to reach fools faster. Moving on, another martial profession, Melonni. I would either give her a WoW strength build with Sand Shards, Heart of Fury, and maybe she could spike a few groups, or give her a Pious Teardown build and 16 Sight Mastery. A Zealous Sight of Enchanting is recommended for any of these builds, also Windwalker Insignias on each armor piece if you are wealthy, or simply Blessed Insignias if you are not. Tahlkora and Dunkoro are monks with plenty of good builds available for them. You can give them some healing builds like Unyielding Aura works nicely in PvE, Great Heal, and Instant Resurrection if someone dies in the party. Or you can try a Smiting Prayers build, Ray of Judgment for instance, or even the Monk/Rit hybrid SOS build I've shown at the 8-man groups, or a Protection Prayers hybrid. Zhed Shadowhoof is our next hero. He is an Elementalist, so there are many possibilities for him too. The previously introduced LA Mesmer E-Surge hybrid or Ineptitude LA is a good choice. Just add 40/40 sets, or think of Blinding Surge, Thunderclap, Glimmering Mark, these are also great alternatives. The next hero is Margrid The Sly. Sadly ranger heroes aren't really used either. AI is dumb and can think like, hey, there is a wall, maybe I should move a bit and to hit the target. If you wanna use Margrid as a bowmaster, then max out marksmanship and give her like 13 expertise, and a flat bow and skills like prepared shot, read the wind, penetrating attack and so on. Or you can try the dagger spam beast mastery hybrid with zealous daggers, that works as well. Moving on, Master of Whispers. If he is your BIP, then you won the lottery. If you didn't, no worries, Necros are great, have plenty of great builds, or of the Lich Minion Master build maybe, or a classic Discord healer, Icy Winds, or a Protection Prayers hybrid, and so on. Our last hero is General Morgahn. The only mission you must use him is Ruins of Mora, where we got to beat Varash. Either you give him a Spear Mastery build, or some defensive Spear hybrid, or just speed boost. It won't be much of a help, spear builds are quite weak honestly, but maybe a dagger spam build could be useful. Finally, no more heroes, let me share with you some tips and tricks I learned through the years. My number one tip, create your own meta build. Sure, you can copy paste wiki build, but but don't believe anything blindly. If you have a bit different idea or a skill or two that you dislike, then go for it, vary the builds as much as you like. Maybe you create stronger builds than the ones on wiki. Tip number 2, use spirits. We have both defensive and offensive spirit builds, highly recommended. However, spirits are stationary for heroes, since they can't use summon spirits. Still, they are a great way to either defend your group or to destroy foes quickly. My next tip is for melee professions: always have Strength of Honor and Splinter weapon. I can't emphasize this enough, this is a game changer for melees. Not just that Honor adds like 20 extra damage to your attacks, but Splinter weapon can explode bolt groups like crazy. That's only a 5 energy skill, recharges quickly, and deals like 250 damage. Might be a good idea to have skills which cause dazed condition. Technobabble is a great way to shut down costers for a few seconds. Martial classes and spirits will interrupt foes while they are dazed, one of the most overpowered non-elite skills. Also skills which cause knockdown like psychic instability, meteor, earthshaker and so on. As long as foes are on the ground, they mean no threat to you and your group. Let's not forget we can micro hero skills. This can be very useful too. Think about a tough group, micro skills like Broad Spirit or Shelter, Splinter weapon to receive a small advantage. There is a lot of AoE damage in the next group. No prop, flag heroes, spread them a bit. You can do this with all 7 heroes. Check out the description for a quick video about this. The next tip is about gearing up heroes. Generally speaking, too low HP is not recommended, but keep in mind that some extra armor or extra defense can make a lower HP hero tankier than a high HP default armor one. For instance, an extra 10 armor can reduce incoming damage by more than 15%, quite a lot if you think about it. Energy shouldn't be your target priority because we have beep necros who take care of the energy regen if a hero is running out of battery. And a few words about combat styles. I think guard is a good choice. I very rarely use fight and avoid combat. Heroes in fight mode behave too aggressively in my opinion. It's kind of hard to control them like this. During certain missions avoid combat is necessary, but 95% of the time guard will do fine. Another tip, you can add heroes a bit faster using the party search window. I tend to use the scroll wheel all the time, but honestly the party search function is way faster. Another tip, always have some speed boost in your group. Fall back on the Mesmer hero, and on the ST is a good example. This can save you a lot of time. Moving on, next tip, always pay attention to the attribute points. Always check how much you need to meet the required effect. Let's say you want to have +6 energy regen with beep, then you must have a certain blood magic. That's just one example. Try to balance the attributes smartly, that's what I meant with this. My next tip is to bring cracked armor if your damage relies on armor respecting skills. Obviously the -20 armor can increase your damage output a bit. And the last tips are very general ones. Use consets, beacons if you can afford, summoning stones, these help a lot especially on low man areas, DP removal items, slice of pumpkin pie to have faster attacking speed, etc, etc. And now we arrived at the last section, the meta player builds. 3 very frequently used ones are the dagger spam, assassin's promise and SOS builds. All of these require very little skill, are easy to use, beginner friendly and widely available for all professions. SOS works like this: you place all your spirits, aggro with painful bond, and fools die in a few seconds. If you combine this with Technobabble, costers won't give you presents for Christmas. Then we have dagger spam, which works best with zealous daggers and some increased attacking speed. Also don't forget the order of skills is very important: lead attack, then offhand attack, and finish the spike with a dual attack. Since you can use it on coaster professions to add some extra defense, so you can die that easily in melee range. Assassin's Promise is best for coasters. I wouldn't use it on martial classes, so not on Dwarf, Asa, Paragon, Warrior or Rangers. Start with either you move like a dwarf, then Ebon Vanguard, Assassin support. Use Asa Promise when the target's HP is sub 50%, then use Finish him and that's it. The Elite recharges all your skills and gives some energy back when the target dies. I show at least 3 builds for each class. You can copy paste codes from the description. Anyway, hope this video helped you a bit. Don't forget to subscribe, to rate the video. You can even dislike if you want, that's also feedback. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.